record 93% of in-store card transactions up to £100 were made using contactless cards. Was that last year? Last year, according to new data from Barclays.
And not only that, bank branches are closing down at a rapid rate, with almost 250 branches set to close this year alone.
So they're now things of the past. Does that mean cash is a king? Or is it a thing of the past? Joining us now, consumer money specialist Maddy Alexander-Grout. Hello, Maddy, who thinks cash is still king. And co-founder of Implement AI, Piers Linney, who thinks cash has had its day. Why do you think that, Piers?
I mean, hello, good morning. Thanks for having me on. I think the reason you have to understand that banks are closing is because nobody's using them. My mum, she's in her 80s. She doesn't want to be fumbling with cash. I think it was 80 to 85% of 80% of 85 to 95-year-olds prefer contactless payments. So if it's not working for us, the consumer, the banks aren't going to keep these sort of local branches open. And, we're living in an age where technology is something which improves our lives. You want frictionless payments, fintech innovation, the ability to use technology in terms of how you use money, because money is going to become technology eventually, to make your lives easier and innovate and help boost and help our economy to thrive.
Is it necessarily? I want to get Maddy's take on this. Yes, it's more convenient. You can see how it's happening and why it's happening. But there are some pitfalls to being a potentially cash-free society. What's your problem with that?
So I actually think that everything that Piers said is very, very valid. However, it's all about having the option of cash as well. Because of the fact that financial inclusion is really important.
What do you mean by that?
So there are people who just can't, for example, actually use cash.
Okay.
Can't use cards. Sorry, there's really bad feedback.
Oh, okay.
Well, what's happening? Are you hearing yourself in your ear?
Yes, yeah.
Right. Mute the kit maybe, and then you might not be able to hear the questions. We'll try and work that out and come back to you in the meantime, Piers.
Thank you.
Look, as Maddy's trying to point out there, there are certain people that aren't into technology, particularly, you talk about your mum. But how do we work so that we can accommodate, innovation, progress, but also not leave people behind?
But we're not going to do that, are we, Piers? It's the end. I mean, I'm a great cash fan.
You got some on you? He's always got a wad.
I carry cash, but even I have to. Do you have cash in your purse?
I don't even own a purse. I just have a digital wallet on my phone.
So there you are, Piers. There you see how we both line up on this one. But although I'm a cash fan, I think I've given up now because I'm the only person I know that uses cash. And when I try and even donate money to my kids, and I'd say, do you need some money? Do you need some cash? No. But Dad, why would I want that for? Can just put it in my account, just electronically put it there. I mean, I wouldn't care how it came as long as it was cash, but they have to have it digitally. And I do accept, Piers, I think when you look at the rate the bank branches are closing down, it's yesterday's news, isn't it?
Well, I think there's the two things there. I mean, if Eamon's not using cash, I think I rest my case. But I think that at the end of the day, you've got to think about, there is an issue with the unbanked, but we can't ignore that. You have to innovate. And we're going to be living in a world, I spent my days, working in artificial intelligence, is that, you won't have wallets or phones. It'll be biometrics. It'll be your face. You'll be able to walk into something, it'll recognize who you are, and it'll understand how much money you've got, and you can make payments. Credit companies, open banking, all the money you make or receive has to go through these systems that can be accounted for and used. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on the ability to gain credit and make payments as well. Also, cash costs the exchequer, let's face it, hundreds of millions of pounds every year just to manage the stuff. So I agree with Eamonn. It's inevitable that cash is going away. We have to prepare ourselves for that.
Maddy?
Yeah, I think what I was saying before about financial inclusion, people who are neurodivergent people who have got ADHD, they struggle with spending a lot. I know I am a neurodivergent myself. My dad has had multiple strokes. He cannot deal with technology. He is 75 years old. He's not even the oldest person that I know that can't deal with card payments. Last year, I went to a festival with about 3,000 people, and the card machines went down. It was absolute bedlam. That is just one example of one small, tiny little piece of the country.
There have been incidents of earthquakes in California, and the electricity's been shut down, and then people weren't able to make any payments. So there are problems like that. But, you know, it does feel like possibly those are being sort of accounted for and there are workarounds. But, you know, look, we all like hard cash, don't we? I personally will miss it when it's gone. Does it open us up to more fraud, Piers? Are there actual issues around concerns of, you know, everything's electronically traceable with the rise of AI? You know, could we end up seeing people losing cash losing their money more easily?
Yeah, so one of the arguments is, is that electronic money, essentially, I mean, talk about cryptocurrency as well, is everything's traceable, okay? Yeah. Which is true to some extent. And, let's face it, there is a reason why some people like cash, which might sort of impact what our exchequer receives. But we won't sort of dwell on that too much. But essentially, what we're going into the world is where money. We're talking about seashells and trading pebbles. We were doing thousands of years ago. Technology is our friend, and we have to innovate. We have to innovate for the neurodivergent to find ways to make it more inclusive, so that we can all use electronic money, because it's going to make our economies frictionless. And fraud, let's face it, the reason why money is not a good thing in terms of hard cash is that it allows for money laundering. It's not traceable.
OK, guys, we'll leave it there. Thank you both very much indeed. You got a wider conversation going with people back home. Well, yeah, look, Simon, Eamonn, I'm like you. I always carry cash. Dave in Northumberland, hi, when cash is gone, do you really think you'll not be charged for your card payments? That's a good point. I like to give cash for tips in bars and restaurants. Otherwise, many owners don't pass all of the tip on. Very true. Lots of people in support of cash this morning. But you see, when I think of my childhood, having cash, having pocket money, having money, once a week to buy sweets and comics with and things like that.